We survived. We survived. Remember that episode where we were talking about like just surviving the holidays?
We did survive. We're this close to being just back into a regular part of the year, like back into real life.
Like where things are just supposedly normal and we just settle down a little bit.
Normal-ish.
Normal-ish. I'm here for normal-ish. Normal-ish is what I need sometimes. So, Happy New Year, presumably, if you're listening to this in the new year, which hopefully you are. I wanted to talk a little bit today about some New Year's resolutions in that I feel like nobody is... Well, I won't say nobody. We've become famous for blanket statements in just 2 episodes, but...
I'm going to keep doing that.
I feel like it's hard to keep New Year's resolutions. Do you have that experience as well, or do you find it's a little easier?
I mean, the key is setting a attainable New Year's resolution. I posted the other day, and this is for the past 3 years, this is my official New Year's resolution. So since this is going to be the episode, I'm going to bring that up here. And it's my resolution again this year, not because I failed at it, just because I believe in constant progress.
Right.
Constant
always getting better.
Improvement. So my New Year's resolution next year, I intend to fuck more, say fuck more, and say fuck while I'm fucking more. And the past 2 years, I've made a lot of progress in all 3 of those areas. I think I can really step it up.
I feel like that's a super smart resolution because you don't set your bar so high that it's like impossible to attain that. Like that's a very attainable resolution. I don't know
what you know about where I'm setting my bar, but
I mean,
it is attainable because it's based on what I already do. It's based on who I am.
Yeah.
It's based on just becoming a better, more fuckier version of who I already am.
Listen, I'm down for that. So is that like the only resolution you set for yourself? Is there anything else that you'd like to maybe see yourself doing this year?
Okay, talking about it like seriously in terms of and I wouldn't consider it a resolution. Like in real life, I'm not big on New Year's resolutions.
Right.
People kind of get in this little groupthink frenzy of we're all going to be better at the same time. No, the fuck you're not. No. That is a you by yourself sort of thing. My wife and I are, we're not waiting till New Year's Day to start this, but it just kind of timing wise coincides with the first of the year. Starting some practices. Not even necessarily together. It's just we're doing similar things to, kind of holding each other accountable, encouraging each other along the way.
So just accountability partners,
right? And it's for us, it's we've started on, and these would be things that a lot of people would do as a New Year's resolution. First, we're both starting it on a meditation practice. That's something I've read like a million fucking books about meditation. Meditation's awesome. I'm not good at it.
I'm curious about that. Like I've seen Natasha posting a little bit about that. So is that something that you're going to try to just get into?
And there's different forms of it. And people do it different ways. For me, the way my head is just fucking crazy, I can't reel that in by myself. So I'm a big fan of guided meditations.
Right. I do love a good guided meditation.
You can find those on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've been doing for the past few weeks now. I kind of started this. I actually I set my alarm clock earlier before work.
Right.
Get up, get in I like about a 20-25 minute guided meditation.
Right.
And it's something, you can't grade a meditation on how it feels while you're doing it.
Right.
Because I get done. Like, I've been having a lot of these days where I get done, and I'm like, that was just a shit meditation. Yeah. Everything I do in life, I give myself a letter grade. I'm like, so I'll get done meditating in the morning, and I'm like, well, that was a fucking D-.
Yeah.
But where I've woken up and intentionally kind of set myself up for the day.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, and I've been having my little D- meditation and having just these great fucking days where I like show up at work and have a good attitude. And
so it's like you might feel like it's a terrible meditation, but on the whole, it's making you feel better to do them in general.
Accomplishing the goal that I want, Good. Like people at work think maybe I need to be sent for a drug test because I don't smile that much at work.
Right.
You know? So in that sense, and that's something where meditation is, you can't grade it on necessarily how it feels while you're doing it.
Right.
And people get a lot, and I say people, I mean me. I have a lot of misconceptions about meditation, but I'm learning. The key is just to do it.
Right.
And then you learn
consistently, probably.
Consistently, and that's where her and I together are setting these goals, and it's not, I'm going to do this and then it fall apart, or she's going to do that, and we're not sitting together holding heads, meditating and shit. You know, you go do your fucking thing, and because that's a different thing.
It's a different kind of meditation,
right? That's like level 9.
Yeah. I've done some guided meditations for sleep, and I've noticed that they'll, like at first it felt a little weird, like listening to somebody's voice trying to like tell me to relax every part of my body. I'm like, this is odd, and I feel like I'm like, moving too much, and I'm distracted.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
don't touch me there.
It's like, you have a nice voice, but I don't know. It's a little too weird sometimes, but yeah, that's an interesting resolution, and I think
that's in conjunction with some other things where that's kind of the spiritual thing, the first and foremost thing. Mm-hmm. We're also both, which I work out. That's kind of one of my things. It's in a little promo, me and the squad. That's always been a part of what I do. With my work schedule, I really only do that like half my days. Right. People get this impression that I like work out 3 hours every day, and it's really like 15 days a month. So we're together going to try to, we're taking care of the spiritual aspect of things with the meditation. Right. We also want some form of physical activity. Yeah. Every day, whether it be like the working out that I do. I'm looking at, I see you. You know what? Now that you didn't mention it, I'm thinking sex might count in this as a physical activity, because on my days, like on my work days, I work a 12-hour shift. I don't want to come home and get under a squat rack. I'm not that dedicated.
That's a lot to try to.
Now coming if I were to count the sex as a physical activity, that would play nicely into my resolution of fucking more, saying fuck more, and saying fuck while I'm fucking more. Yeah. So that's a new thing we just added.
It's the best resolution ever.
I'm gonna have to tell the wife what's going on here now. She'll get caught up. But so now for us, physical activity can be working out. It can be yoga, because we're starting a yoga practice together, or fucking. So hey, I think this is an achievable goal.
Yeah. Because it's not something that's... I think a lot of times people fail with their resolutions because they set sort of this pie in the sky, like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by March. And, like, you sort of... If you're not setting, like, a reasonable goal, and then you're not getting there and you're not seeing those results, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to give up by, the fourth day of trying to do this.
And on that specifically, and I'm going to kind of go off on a tangent here just because the physical fitness and stuff is something that I'm passionate about. Yeah. On the physical goals, that's where people fuck themselves more than anything, is saying, I'm gonna lose 50 pounds by blah, blah, blah. I don't... Leave your fucking scale alone. Yeah. Set a goal of, I'm going to double how much I can squat. Yeah. The scale will take care of itself. Right. And how you look's going to take care of itself. Right. Always set performance-based goals instead of like weight-based goals. Set a goal of, I want to run faster, I want to jump higher, I want to be stronger. The scale will take care of itself. Yeah. And that's where people fuck themselves, is you're going to see... If you're measuring progress in terms of, I did more reps today, or I did an extra pound today, you're going to see with your eyes progress in more incrementally than if you're looking at the scale every day. It's going to happen in the other areas first before you see it on the scale. Yeah. And that's where people get discouraged. They're like, well, I haven't lost any weight. Yeah. But you got stronger today, so that's coming. Right. So I'm sorry, I got off on that.
No, that's perfect. Another one that I think too is in the writing community, there's this adage, and I've sort of learned to dismiss it, but there's this adage of you have to write every day to be a good writer. And I think that there's a problem. I
write every day, and I'm a shit writer, so I'm just here to fucking prove that wrong.
Yeah. So like there's this adage that, you need to write this many words a day or this many words a day. And I follow an author, her name is Lee Bardugo, and she has the best advice. And it's actually something that I've been able to follow this entire all of 2018. She made a hashtag out of it called "It's BAYM to go," BAYM BMTGO or something like that. It's begin as you mean to go on. Like, don't do anything special on January 1st other than what you can reasonably accomplish every day. And that's, if you can write today, great. If you can't, it's fine, but just get into a rhythm. And I think that's what you were talking about with the consistency of just do it like you're going to do it.
Exactly.
You know?
And to what you just said there, and I've written something about this recently. I won't remember it right. And this ties into the whole mentality of New Year's resolutions and I'm going to do this. A lot of us, and you know, we're very driven people. We also I in particular, I have some definite issues with things like anxiety and depression. And no matter how driven you are, life is life. You know, you can't just push. If I had unlimited time and resources, I could get a lot fucking done.
Right.
Shit ain't like that. You have to, and something I wrote, I'm trying to remember, it was, I will do as much as time and anxiety allow me to do. Yeah. You can, you know, you can do what you can do in a day, and that's it. And when you get to the end of the day, as long as you did what you were capable of, that day wasn't a failure. You might not have gotten everything fucking done, but if you did what you were capable of, you won that day. And I'm big on getting to the end of days and looking back on it and being like, you know,
and I think
it might not have been pretty. It might not have been a pretty win, but it was a fucking win.
I think the anxiety thing is something that people need to recognize. Like you talk about that, a lot of people just don't want to admit that that is a problem that they have, or that it's something that's going on in their lives. And I think it's because we've been internalized to believe mental health is not important. And I'm glad that, like, it seems like there's now a bigger conversation about mental health being more important, and now more people are able to recognize that, oh, this is a problem that I have, so I can take that into account when I'm setting these goals.
And especially among like writers, like all y'all motherfuckers got anxiety, and then you pile on top of that this arbitrary word goal for the day. Now, obviously, I'm not a fiction writer. I do whatever the fuck it is I do, so it's a different concept. If I was to move over into that world and somebody was to be like, "You got to do this much a day," I'd be like, I'm going back over here to the
it's tough
meme land.
Yeah, writing on deadlines. And
I get when there's a deadline involved. That's different than an arbitrary. I'm doing, and I like. And I don't even know what any of them are called, but the things y'all do where it's like everybody's kind of getting together and trying to hit these word counts.
Oh, like NaNoWriMo, the word sprints.
I like the spirit of that. I've never participated in anything like it, but I like the camaraderie of it. That makes it a little different when...
it's nice to know that other people are in the trenches.
No, I totally get that. And as long as everybody's encouraging each other, and from what I've seen of it, it doesn't feel like it's a competitive thing. No, it's like everybody. Come on, we're going streaking.
That's sort of one of the nice things about publishing in general is I don't, and maybe you can speak to this as far as like poetry and stuff is concerned. It's one of those rare fields where I feel like it's not a super competitive community. We hold each other up. Like, I'm doing my thing and I can promote other people doing their thing, and they'll promote me doing my thing. And it's not really a read my book, not his. It's a read my book, then read his, or, I feel like it's a nice community of like, we can support each other because we know what we go through and we know the creative, weight of everything, I guess.
I want to go to there. I'll honestly say, for the most part, in the poetry end, which I don't even call it that, I refuse to. I've let a few of the really negative elements in that can just fucking ruin it for me. Like, I'm not going to open a book of poetry right now if Ginsberg was going to jump out and rim me. This is how, like, the word poetry on my tongue feels like probably what fuck or cunt feels like to some better people than myself. I really have, and I'm trying to pull back from that and reset. Because it's kind of shitty when you let just a handful of people ruin something that you did love. Right. And I don't even talk about it as much because I know a lot of people that write poetry that I love. So I'm not saying fuck you and your thing. I'm just like, fuck, I've let some real fucking douchebags ruin the whole thing for me. And I don't even give a fuck about it.
Well, I think we can get burnt out as it is. So when you add that pressure from other people being negative and just having their negative comments, I feel like you're not
really. I think it's really cute how they spend so much time still trying to. If you're still trying to define your fucking art and define your little place in it, you're not fucking arting yet.
Right.
Like, you're still on fucking kindergarten level shit.
Right.
Like, look at me, I'm just like this and just like, fuck you.
Right.
You know,
right.
Shut up and do your thing. And if you're really worried about what I call what I do, you're obviously not secure in what the fuck you do.
Right.
So you can do it. You can call it poetry. Y'all can have that.
Right.
I don't want anything to do with it.
I feel like I just now finished a novel.
I don't know if you can tell how fucking bitter I still am about this.
Yeah.
I will fight. Like, any 10 of you flannel wrap motherfuckers, come on.
So I just finished a novel that, like, when I started it, nobody knew about it, and it was just me and these words and these characters, and I started it overseas, and it was just, and now it's to a point where it's like, it's about to be queried, and it's going to be, you know, some editor somewhere is going to decide if it's appropriate for the market and people will buy it. But I'm sort of already moved on to the next story that I'm working on that nobody knows about, and that's how I sort of refresh myself is, what am I working on that's for me?
You're not just paused waiting for somebody else to decide your fate.
Decide the quality of, you know, and if that book goes somewhere, great, and if it doesn't, fine, I enjoyed writing it. But like, I think there are a lot of artists out there who are writing for the market, and I think that is not artistry. I understand the need, you know, like, it's a viable income and it's a viable profession, and I wouldn't be in it if I didn't believe that. But I think some people are just sort of obsessed with, what can I sell next? What can I sell next?
And I understand that. I get accused of shit like that, because not everything I write is 50 fucking lines or something. Sometimes I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I get it. I know that there are people out, especially on social media. It's kind of this disingenuous thing. You write 3 fucking lines and get 10,000 likes.
Yeah.
You know,
I see a lot of that.
I don't when I write something, if it's 3 fucking lines, it's because that's all the fuck that was in my head. I have a lot. You're gonna believe it or not, I have a lot of tiny thoughts. And they're mine, and I like them, but they're just not fucking big. And I feel like a lot of time I read a lot of shit, and it's even good writing.
Right.
I read a lot of shit that I'm like, that was longer than it needed to be.
Yeah. Like,
it's
you could have made that.
You're trying to prove you're a writer instead of just saying your thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
I think when you try that hard to be poetic, the poetry is lost.
And
that's just kind of how I feel about it when I read, because like when I read your stuff, it's like, and maybe it's just a product of knowing you too, but when I read it, I feel like this is real stuff. Like, this is stuff that they could find in 50 years after we're gone, or 100 years, and be like, this was what life was.
And I'll admit, what I do is such a mixed bag. It always was, even before I got this chip on my shoulder from people coming along and trying to define me for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a fucking dumbass redneck in Tennessee. Let me do my thing and call it poetry, and that doesn't hurt you. Like, if me calling what I do poetry is a threat to your entire fucking art form, your entire fucking art form is weak as fuck.
Right.
Like, if I can come along and be, people are going to think this is poetry. So the fuck what?
Yeah, like,
you know,
who cares?
But, fuck poetry.
You heard it here, folks. Fuck poetry. Yeah. So, wow. That was quite a tangent from New Year's resolutions, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, how the fuck did we get here?
I don't know.
I feel as if we're going off, hey, I love y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh my God,
I'm sorry I'm like this. I get like
so that. Let's talk about this show in the context of a New Year's resolution.
Fuck this show.
Fuck this show. This isn't a show.
This interview is over.
This interview is over. This is an exciting thing, and I think this is a great, like, speaking of consistency and doing something that's attainable, I think that what we've got going on here, I'm enjoying, you know, making this something that I want to expand and do more of and interact with folks. And
that was actually a great segue from me throwing my little fucking fit about poetry and all of that into this show. And whatever it was, whatever I thought it was, whatever anybody else thought it was, the writing I do, and I'm always going to do, like, but that's what led us to this point here.
Right.
And I feel like this was the natural place for me to, when I'm writing, whether it's poetry or quotes or this or that, or just a dumbass on the internet who thinks he's somebody, it's always the goal was for just authenticity.
Right.
Just me being me, was honesty.
Right.
I believe this. I believe this is a purer level of that. Because whether you like my writing or like what I've called it in the past or what, I'm a good writer in the sense that the English language is my bitch. You might not like what I say or the way I say it.
Right.
But I guarantee you I didn't fucking misspeak.
Right. Exactly.
This makes, and I'm able to do that when, I'm sitting down or I have a thought. I sort it all out in my head. Right here, this is more real time.
Yeah, this is unfiltered. I don't know if,
because I guarantee you, like every day for the past 2 months, I've thought, fuck poetry, and have not posted it. But here we are.
Yeah,
and this is a deeper level of the kind
raw,
of honesty that people, for whatever reason, like from me, and it's going to be worse now. And I feel
just
like
in case you thought maybe we are doing a script for this, like this could not possibly be more unscripted. I'm looking at a camera. I'm looking at a camera mounted inside of a cereal box, talking to this guy with no like foundation. Like we don't sit and prepare what we're going to talk about. We literally just set up the equipment and go.
I'm sure they are getting the impression.
I hope they get that
completely unprepared.
This is whatever. You signed up for this, so yeah. But that's okay. So I think that's a good like place to.
So where are we at with our New Year's resolutions?
I don't know. Keep them attainable. I think that's what we got out of this. Keep them attainable. Make it something.
We're doing a good job of that on this. Wherever the fuck we end up, I always get to the end of these and feel like, hey, that was it. It's like watching G.I. Joe, and at the end they got a moral. The moral to the story here is fuck poetry. Fucking counts as working out, and keep your goals attainable.
There you go. That's it. So the more you know, knowing is half the battle, or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So all right. So here's something that you might be interested in. So if you want to chat with Jeff directly, or if you want to have him you definitely do. There's a way you can do that, and now we have our own hotline, and you can get in touch with us and leave a comment or a message or a question or a topic for debate or discussion, whatever. But you can dial this number that's going to be on your screen right now. It's 209-353-4257, or if you want an easier way to remember it, it's 209-35-DIX.
He assures me that was accidental.
It 100% was. So, okay. So
I don't believe in... I'm at this point where I kind of don't believe in accidents.
Don't believe in accidents. It was a happy accident.
That was...
Yeah.
That was just... That's the universe right there.
It's the universe. Like I picked the number randomly for the thing, and then I typed in the numbers, and I'm like, what words could I make out of this to make it easier? And 209-35-DIX. There it is. It's forever beautiful. And always is the number to this show.
Now, see, that's poetry.
It's poetry. It's poetry. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to leave it there. If you guys have anything you want to say, just dial that number, and hopefully you guys will tune in again next week. Thanks
Call
for
me.
Call Jeff. You'll appreciate it.
You will.
Or will appreciate you, and yeah, whatever. So I don't have a sign off yet. So I guess
I think all of our sign offs are going to be just like, no, you hang up first.
No, you hang up first.
Goodbye.
Bye.